Back now on Triad today, and two very special guests with us. One who's been here several times before, and we just love her to death. And then a new guest that she's brought with her. We're going to see them both together, I think. J. Paul, our director, if we can see. Next to me is Brees Roten. He's a Vanpool driver and also works, I believe, at Carolina Fabrics. We'll find out about that in just a second. Next to him, our good friend Chantale Wesley, transportation and band manager at PART. Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Chantale, let me start out with you. What qualifies as a Vanpool?
Well, a Vanpool is formed when a group of commuters who live at least 10 or more miles from their workplace agree to share the ride to and from work. We're very proud to say that right now we have about 42 vans in operation, but definitely have a capacity to add more. So we want more.
You're always a cheerleader. You're always in there cheerleading. Brees, where do you live?
I actually live in Galax, Virginia.
Okay. Now, the reason I'm asking this is because here you are, a successful, long-time a Vanpool driver. How long have you been doing this?
I've actually been riding the van for 7 years.
Okay.
Our van's been actually running 9.
And I did get that right. Carolina Fabrics?
Carolina Narrow Fabric.
Narrow Fabric. Where is that located?
Over on Patterson Avenue.
So you, even if there wasn't a Vanpool, you'd have to drive a pretty good distance. As a Vanpool driver, how many miles do you cover in each day?
It's 58 miles one way.
Okay. And now I'm interested in this because how many riders do you have in your particular group?
Well, initially we had 15. We did have 15 until just a few months ago. Of course, you know what economic happens in the economy. We actually have 10 riders now.
Okay. But it's still the most economical way to travel.
Oh, absolutely. We are very fortunate. Our company picks up the tab for the ride, and they have been more than generous. Of course, also they get to return all on it. I counted up the other day, we have about 187 years experience in what we do, those 10 people riding that van.
They need you. They need that experience.
So the experience, it's a win-win situation.
Now, how much does it cost to ride in your particular, I don't think this is too personal a question because we want people to know about riding in Vanpools, but in your situation with your 10 people, what does that cost on average?
It's about $1,100 a month.
For everybody.
For everybody.
For everybody. So when you divide that out, Chantale, we're really talking about saving money over versus driving your car, right? Help me on that.
Definitely. It would be, like he said, his company picks up the tab, but if they were to pay themselves, it would be about $75 a person, which most people are spending that in gas alone.
Right.
So you got that wear and tear off of your vehicle. And in addition to that, for a driver, they would ride free of charge anyway as a perk.
Oh, yeah, okay. And of course, we've talked about this when Brent McKinney's been on the show and other folks, that another advantage to riding either a PART bus or in this case a Vanpool is that people that are riding with you can, they can take a nap or they can, work on a laptop or whatever. I mean, that's an advantage, isn't it?
Absolutely. Not only mentioned that, the amount of greenhouse gases we're saving. I counted up the other day, in the 9 years we've been running the van, it's something in excess of 280,000 miles that we've taken off the road for everyone if they drove individually.
Is that pretty common, Chantale, with all that? You said you had 40-some vans going.
Last year alone, we reduced about 6 million vehicle miles of travel, and of course, along with that, the air quality benefits. So definitely a great program.
Now, maybe this isn't pertinent, but I have to ask in any way, Brees, before time runs out on us. Why did you want to do this? I mean, I know why people would want to ride in a Vanpool. It saves money. You have freedom to do what you want to do on the van. But I mean, that's responsibility too to actually be a driver. Why did you want to do that?
Well, I've always driven. I've carried a commercial license all my life, and I'm used to drive school buses. So I mean, I'm just used to having.
So you've dealt with rowdy people before.
I've dealt with 10-year-olds.
Well, are your riders like 10-year-olds some days?
Some days they are.
Now, what would you recommend? I mean, if you were given a testimonial real quick before we run out of time, why do you recommend Vanpooling to people, to our viewers?
Well, first of all, it reduces the cost that you're going to have to pay driving to and from work. The security of the vehicles we have, PART gives us an excellent piece of equipment to drive. We've had, I think, one instance in the last 9 years where we actually were stranded, and that's
what a record.
That is an excellent.
And of course,
record.
if something does go wrong, the riders don't have to. Yeah, they got backup. Don't have to pay for that and worry about the maintenance. Chantale, we're going to see some information on screen. You have a couple websites, partnc.org. I think also Share the Ride.
Yes, sharetheridennc.org.
Okay, and 800-588-7787. And thank you all for being here, and good luck. Continued luck when you're driving.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this.